Good morning. It's incredibly early. I'm getting ready to go to the gym, but I wanted to take a moment to show you guys another marketing trick. I don't think I've ever actually taken you out and showed you. But yesterday I was passing out business cards in the afternoon after work and everything, and I came across a neighborhood with some nasty freaking homes. There's only one way out of the neighborhood, and so I'm going to put my yard sign right in everybody's freaking face and give them an opportunity to get their house washed at a good price. I know it's way too dark for you guys to see me, and I apologize for that, but, you know, work happens. I have passed out 500, 600 cards. I have a small stack, probably about 20 in my car. So I have 100 boxes left in my studio back at the house. So, yeah, that's pretty good. 600 passed out, 400 to go. It's a good idea to keep track of where you go and how many you put out so you can order more. You might want to advertise twice in the spring. Get them now, get them early, get people that are, you know, anxious to get their houses cleaned up after the holidays. You know, the snow's melting where you're at. You know, you might be watching this in March, you might be watching this in January. Get those advertisements out. Get the business cards in the door jams. Get the business card magnets on the mailbox posts. Do what you got to do. Get yard signs made up. Somebody asked me, hey Dan, what do? I have community mailboxes, those big giant aluminum mailboxes where there's a whole number of slots, and people, you know, use their little key and open up their little door, kind of like a P.O. box, but it's outside by their little housing developments. I would say in the morning, before you head out, put a yard sign right by those mailboxes. And in the evening, before you go to bed, pick up your yard sign so it doesn't get stolen, because they do get stolen. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I put out a bunch of business cards in this one neighborhood, the last neighborhood, and then I jogged home. Excuse me. And I was like, wow, this is a great candidate for pressure washing. These houses were a mess. They're new, they're a mess. We're just coming off the holidays. This is the time to pressure wash. So I'm going to stick a pressure wash sign right in their development, you know, in their one way out, one way in, and it's a double-sided sign. I put 2 yard signs from Vistaprint back to back on a yard stake thingy, you know, and you just stick it in the ground. So I'm going to do that right now and see if I can't pick up maybe 1 or 2 nice little pressure wash jobs this month. Make a little extra money. There's only one way out, and it's right here. So there you go. I mean, you pay for the sign one time and then you have free advertising for as long as no shitbag steals it. And they do steal it. Alright, I'm going to the gym. We'll be back. New signs installed. I did a video and I'll link to it up here. How to put these little signs spray glued to a block of wood and bolt it through to your trailer. Too easy. You can change them out as the season changes. So you can go from lawns to house washing to snow removal and carry your snow plows and crap to whatever you do. Quick and simple, easy signs. Instead of that vinyl lettering crap that you got to stick on and peel off. Right there, baby. Vistaprint. Happy Wednesday afternoon, everybody. I said I was going to do a maintenance video this week, and I planned on doing it today, this afternoon. It's a little bit overcast right now. Kind of sucks. I got a box light up trying to help illuminate the things a little bit, but all I know is when I grow up, I bet that guy gets all the ladies. I want to grow up and be just like him. What do you think? Nice beard. Anyways, what we have here is un kit de fashion. It's pero un óptimo desempeño. Uno, instala el filtro de aire. Dos, cambia el aceite. Tres cambia el filtro de aceite. Cuatro. Sorry, I thought I was on Telemundo. Kawasaki engine tune-up kit. All right, so this is the whole kit for my mower for doing a tune-up. It says right here 5 simple steps to peak performance. So it's got an air filter, oil filter, oil, spark plug, and fuel filter. All right, spark plugs. So it's all in here, ready to go. Basically everything that you need to do an engine tune-up on the Kawasaki. I have the FS481V as in Victor engine, and that's good for this because it has to do with the actual air cleaner. So let's break this open. This is part number 99969-6426. I'll put a link to it in my video description so you can check it out. It's got everything in it that you need right here, including the Kawasaki air-cooled type engine oil. There is a difference between 4-cycle engine oil for air-cooled engines and engine oil you buy at the auto parts store for cars, liquid cooled. Okay, these run much hotter, and the oil viscosity needs to be a little bit different, and so that's why it's a little bit more money to pay for like Kawasaki or Briggs & Stratton oil, stuff like that, specifically designed for air-cooled engines. Okay, there is a difference. Okay, so let's break this open and see what we got. I already cut the tape on it. Right off the bat, we got the air filter right here. Nice little thing. We got the spark plugs, 2 of them, already gapped. It's not a bad idea to check the gap, but that looks like about right to me. It's open. As long as it's open, not way crazy wide open, then that's fine. That's good. Good enough for me. Got the engine oil, 2 quarts of 20W50. You'll need almost all 2 quarts. I gotta look in the manual for the amount. There's the other one. 20W50 works out great when you're in like the southern states, or if you're in like Arizona, Nevada, Southern California, through Texas, through to Mississippi, Alabama, into Georgia. You need that 2050. All right. If you're in much cooler states and you're working below 30-degree temperatures, then you'd want to go with thinner oil, something like a 10W40 perhaps. But for all of us right now, 2050 is great. Here's the fuel filter. It's good to change these out. Right now my machine has 66 hours on it, and this is the 2nd oil change that I'm doing. For video sakes, I was going to do the hydro fluid and the hydro filter just to show you guys what that's like, what you got to do. But the guy at the counter at Andy's was like, dude, you don't do that shit for like 200 hours, bro. And I was like, yeah, you're right, I'll wait. And then here's the air filter with the pre-cleaner on it. And here's the instructions on how to break your machine. So I don't think this is going to give you the actual amount of oil to put in. Oil capacity is 2.2 quarts, do not overfill. But what size engine are they talking now? That's for the FR 651, 691, 730, and all FS series carb engines. I don't think mine takes 2.2. That's 2 quarts right there. Hold please. I did an oil change once already, and I used the 20W50 in the summer, and there's quite a bit of oil in here. So I don't know if I bought a lot of extra oil or what, but if it takes 2.2 quarts, then I got it. I got 2 quarts right there, and if it takes another quarter, then okay, or 1/5, I should say. But I don't think so. I'll look in the manual. I'm sure I wrote it down, and I use my funnel with the line, and you fill it up, then you turn the valve, and it comes down. So I'll check that. But also, we have the chute blocker door, the grass flap, right here. which has a cabling system on it. So we're going to shoot some lube into that. This is a synthetic oil for chains and stuff like that. The good thing about synthetic oil, especially like off-road, it's like 12 bucks for this can. But the good thing about this, and for our conditions being so dusty and dirty, is like unlike WD-40, this will go on wet and it dries. And when it dries, it doesn't attract the dirt, but it's still lubricating. It's synthetic. And it is still lubricating. WD-40 is a quick fix, but wears parts down fast. This stuff like this for your motorcycle chains, and you know, this is good for your brake levers on like bicycles, switching gears, whether you got the triggers or you just do this, your linkage, your bicycle chains, and in our case, this is good for lubricating the moving parts of squeezing the handle for turning direction, and also shooting some lube into the cable with the foot pedal that operates the grass flap. So that's good for this right here. So this is a part of our maintenance today as well. And maybe you'll get a treat, and I'll show you guys how to change the, if I can get this out, how to change the canister in here of grease. Alright, so pump grease like this can be a real pain in the butt. And the biggest problem people have is air. And so there's two tricks to this. Alright, there's 7 fittings on my mower, although I can only find 6 right now. But I remember there's 7, so I gotta try to find the 7th one. But we're gonna go ahead and grease up my mower. Alright, each front caster wheel has a grease fitting. It's called a Zerk fitting. Alright, each front caster has a fitting, so that's 4, and then each right here that lubricates this right here has one, and the other side has one. That's 6, and then there's one standalone somewhere that I got to try to find. I don't remember where it is, but I greased it before, and I remember counting 7, and I was like, 7's kind of odd. Well, why not 8? But I can only find 7. Now I can only find 6, so we'll have to find it. But 2 things that people do is, number 1, they lay them down when they store them, and that's a bad deal right there. Always want to store them up. Have a hook and store it up so the grease is always down. Okay, that's number 1. And number 2, if you're having a problem with air, then take it like this, go outside and whoop it around. And I mean whoop it like this, and get that grease to travel down. Okay. Also, when you pull this back and you pop this, don't force it down, just pop it. Alright, it's just putting positive pressure on the grease to keep it packed. Some people do this and then they push it all the way down and the grease comes around it. See how it's slowly making its way down? Air is escaping. And then there's, some of these will have a bleed valve right here. You can bleed the air out. And so that's putting positive pressure on the grease and helping to push the grease down in the gun. Pushing this all the way down, like you see some people do, makes the grease squeeze past a little plunger that you're pushing, that's getting pushed down, and then you have a plunger between your opening and your grease, causing air. So keep this up, all the way up. Just release the pressure every once in a while. Okay? And then some of these will actually have a pressure release valve that helps with the air escaping instead of waiting for it to back up here. But the biggest thing I can tell you is always store it like this. Always store it like this. Okay, I can't stress that enough. That's your biggest thing right there. So we got 6 for sure. I swear I found 7. I'm also going to strip the blades off of it, sharpen the blades up. The front wheels do not require air pressure. Back wheels I put around 10 psi. Air cleaners right there. Spark plugs are right here and the other side, 2 of them. Oil filter, oil fill, fuel filter. Alright? Not a big deal. It's not hard to do. Simple maintenance, guys. Simple maintenance is the most important thing to keep your machines running. Okay, like my shirt says, ready, set, hustle. You need to be ready, have your stuff. You need to get set, put it on, get your equipment ready and set it up for your hustle, because the hustle is coming. So I'm going to hang this back up until we're ready to use it. I'm going to get the camera set down. We'll throw on some music and we're going to do some maintenance. Alright guys, with changing the engine oil, obviously I ran it for a few moments to get it backed off the trailer, but I always like to run the engine a little bit, get the oil a little bit thin, so it helps it kind of flow out a little more. Plus, any sediment that might be in the bottom of the sump that didn't get collected in the filter is circulated around now and is in the oil. So when you drain it, you have a better chance of getting minute particles out. So for this particular machine, there's a hose that's just in a clamp right here. So you just pull this hose out, and they really do make it nice and easy. And I like to elevate the machine up a little bit because the oil sump is in the back. And then right at the end, so that way most of it will flow out, and then right at the end we'll sit it down so the last of it comes out. 1.8 quarts of oil is what this motor takes according to this engine's manual. 1.7 quarts if you drain the oil but don't drain the filter. 1.8 if you do, or remove the filter, I should say. So also a trick with a filter is, it's a good idea right now, and I'm going to do it, is to go ahead and put oil, fill this up with oil right now, and the paper cartridge in there will start absorbing the oil. So by the time you're done and you put it like this to screw it on, it's not going to all come flowing out. So let's go ahead and do that right now actually. Nice clean oil does an engine good. It's like water for our bodies. And I fill it all the way up. I'll give it a second to take a break. There we go. Just helps, gives you a little bit better control when you turn it and put it on. Almost no matter what you do, man, you're going to make a mess one way or the other. Just be prepared with some towels that you can just throw out. So now we'll go ahead and we're going to let that sit. But you see how I filled it up like that? It's already going down some. So we'll let that sit now. So you have the hose right here, and then you have a big bolt on the end here, and then this is threaded as, or as a lockdown. You just got to hold this. Try it this way maybe. There we go. Have your drip pan down here, ready to go. If your hose is higher than the engine, then the sump, the oil won't come out. So you have positive control until you bring it down here, and now the oil's dripping. Pop this to let air go. And we got good flow. So while that is draining, we can go ahead and grease up our fittings. So let's get on that. You don't want to push dirt in, so make sure your fittings are clean. And what I'll do, until when I feel that back pressure, that's when I know I'm full up. And there's a little back pressure right there. There it is, nice pressure. And then it starts to come out right here. See it? And you know you got good fill. What happens with these front caster wheels, whether it's a walk behind, a zero turn, or whatever, is if you don't grease these and you let dirt get in there, what will happen is you'll go into a turn and then it's not going to come back on you. And then you start fighting this wheel dragging. It's happened to me in the past. And what will happen is the spindle in here, because there's no bearings in there, it's just a bushing, and this is just riding on a bushing with very little tolerance. There might be bearings in this machine because it was freaking $6,000, but most machines that I've ever dealt with, it's just a bushing and the metal's just riding on metal with very little tolerance. and the dirt will get in there and just start grinding crap down, and then this thing will get stuck right here. And then you start mowing and it'll put a big old divot in the yard and then straighten out. And then it'll stay like this. And then you're constantly fighting the handles to go straight. So you really want to grease these. If there's anything you want to grease, it's these damn spindles. Come on. Alright, this is kind of hard to do because I don't have it on the ground. Alright, I'm going to wait on these till I have it on the ground and I can get good force on this to hold it. The next places to grease are back there. You got this here, which is your handle control lever, and it doesn't take a lot. That's it. And then again on the other side. That's it. And that gives you your good here. Alright, now I wish I can remember where that other one is. It's one singular fitting, and I don't know where. These hubs are hydro, so there's none here, but some machines, the wheel will have it. The spindles are solid, they're sealed, so there's nothing there. It's not up there. It's just one standalone Zerk fitting, and the book doesn't show it either, believe it or not. You might have to like purchase a service manual. Maybe it is underneath here. It might be underneath here. Hold on. No. Ain't there. I don't know where it is. Let me check the oil to see if we're done draining so I can put the machine down. Yeah, that's good. Another thing I like about walk-behinds over standers is I can just work on it. I don't need help with a lift or a jack. Alright, let's try to get these front caster wheels now. If you don't have a good fit, you won't grease it. There we go. And you'll feel the back pressure when it's full. And you want to fill it. It'll come out. You're not going to hurt anything. There's no like specific seals here. There it goes. I see it coming out. Just a little bit. Doesn't take a lot. Not a lot of grease comes out with each pump. Right there. All right. A little bit came out the side. If I find the seventh fitting that I know exists somewhere, I'll point it out to you guys. Well, I don't know. Okay, so the pedal attachment has the cable here, and this cable runs downhill all the way. This is the highest point, and the lowest point is at the door. So if you put some shots of grease in here, some lube, move the little dust boot back, and give it a little spray, it'll work its way down just over gravity. It's a very, very good idea to do this. And I think people that have had their cables fail didn't do this. Just spray that in there and let it do its thing. and it'll do its thing. Then you can hit the mechanism over there. Also, listen. Okay, this one's not bad. At all. This other one, this side, squeaks. And I don't care that it's getting all over the place. It's only silicone lube. There we go. Like I said, it dries dry. It's really phenomenal. It's also $12. Okay, when it comes to the engine oil filter, you're going to make a mess. There's pretty much no way around it. It just sucks, no matter where they're located. I've recommended in the past taking tinfoil and making a rounded thing that can go there, that will come out, and you can try to direct it into something. These big wheels kind of get in the way of getting flow. So if I made like a tinfoil little thing here, it wouldn't really be able to go anywhere. And it's not that much, it's not that big of a deal. So what I just do is just throw some paper towels down so I can collect the paper towels and I can dispose of the oil properly. I don't want it going all over the ground and being stupid, you know. So just make yourself a nice little diaper and just be ready, but you just got to be quick. That's it, just make yourself a nice little diaper. Sometimes you can grab these oil filters and unscrew them by hand. A lot of times you can't. Let's see what we got. I can't tell if I'm unscrewing it or if my gloves are sliding. There we go. I got it. Now, like I said, you're going to get some out. Not a big deal. Just be quick about it. There we go. There's the oil filter. A little bit straining. Got your diaper. And there you go. Not bad. Not bad at all. Sure, everything's nice and clean. And then we got the new oil filter that has the oil already in it, already loaded up. There you go. That wasn't too bad. Now you got your hose and lock it down. Or you put your air cleaner or your oil filter back on, because you know you got clean oil. You don't want to lose that. Tighten this up. Stick it back in the little carrier. And get the oil out of the way. Here's the filter. Now remember we had that filter filled? And look at it. It's empty in there. It absorbed all into the paper. Too easy, huh? And then just screw it on. No tools, guys, just tight, pretty much as tight as you can get it with your hand is all you got to do. In the past, there used to be an issue with oil filters, the seal not coming off with the filter and sticking to the engines, especially with cars. And then you would put the new oil filter on, and you would go with the new seal on top of the old seal, and it wouldn't actually make a good seal, and people were losing their engine oil. So just a good rule of thumb, just a good habit to be in. It's never happened to me in all my years, but it doesn't hurt to check. And where I wiped off the actual face of where the oil filter goes, you just want to make sure that, you know, that was metal and not a seal. So that's it. We got a nice clean oil filter. We drained all the oil out. So now we can go ahead and top it off. Called for 1.8 quarts. So with a nice clean funnel. This is one brand new quart. I'll put the rest of that old quart in here, the older oil from last summer. I mean, it's still good. But we'll go ahead and put that in here, and then we'll check the dipstick. Go ahead and kill it there. Now, I know that I have a safe amount of oil to start my machine. Okay, I could be a little bit low. I'm not a half a quart low, but I could be, you know, maybe a quarter of a quart low or whatever. But what I want to do is I want to circulate the oil through the oil filter and make sure that everything is full in operating range, and then check the dipstick for final topping off. So that's something I recommend you guys do as well. Fire up the machine, only let it run for like 15, 30 seconds. That's all you need to do. You don't want things getting too hot. You don't want the oil expanding under temperature. And then just go ahead and check it on the dipstick and see if you need to add any. Always replace your dipstick before you fire your machine, because they're pressurized, so oil will be spitting out like crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this up for just a moment. I have the fuel line shut off so I can change the fuel filter, and that's also good too because I'm going to help suck some of the fuel out of that fuel line. I'm going to choke it, although I might not need to. Sound like shit because I got a spark plug boot off. It's only running on one cylinder. Okay, so now I can check the oil. See? I don't know if you can see, but I got a boot off right here. That's enough to circulate the oil and get it back around all the moving parts, including into the filter. Don't screw it down, just rest it on. Check your level. And we are in the very bottom where it says add. So that's good, we're close. Probably I'll just finish off this quart. Gosh, it's a gloomy day. Been like this all day, just gloomy. I understand we have a cold front coming in. Next week, I believe, it's supposed to get cold. Let me tell you guys something. I'm dripping oil all over the freaking place. It's alright, this thing's going to get a bath when I'm done. If you are in Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, South Carolina, and central to North Florida, Sorry about that. It is too early to put down weed and feed right now, January 16th, 15th. It's too early. Garbage man. Oh yeah, we're looking good now, baby. Yeah, we're right at the full. So, it's too early to put down weed and feed or grass fertilizer. Listen, I said it last year, I'll say it this year too. From now till about the first week in March, second week in March, we have a very, very, very good chance of getting a hard freeze, or just a freeze. Temperatures around 36, 37, 38 degrees. If you artificially greened up your grass by putting down fertilizer and didn't let it wake up naturally, what's going to happen is it's green and it's susceptible to the cold. So when the freeze comes through, that grass is going to shrivel up, shrink, and turn browner than brown. And it's going to stay that way because now the grass thinks it's back in November. And it's going to say, looks like we need to stay dormant for a while. Meanwhile, other people that didn't do that, their grass is already brown. They already have some weeds, that's fine. You can put a weed treatment down, spot treat weeds. Put down a pre-emergent. You can put down a post-emergent. Just don't put down iron or nitrogen. Don't try to green up your grass, just don't. Because the green grass is going to not die, but it's going to die. And everybody else's grass that's already dead, although it's not dead, it's dormant, is going to be waking up. And so the freeze that we get, say Monday we get a freeze, and my neighbor put down a weed and feed, and he's got nice green grass now, and I didn't, and I'm like, damn, I wish I had nice green grass. When that freeze comes through, his grass is going to go back to zero, day zero of the dormant season. And it could take as long as 6 to 8 weeks before his grass will get green again. My grass is sleeping through the cold. It's got a nice blanket on it. It's called brown. And then that brown's going to wear off. We have sunny days. The grass has already been dormant for long enough, and nature calls. And my grass greens up and starts growing and looks great by St. Patrick's Day. But his grass will be brown as fudge all the way into April and later. And then he's going to want to ask his lawn guy, what the hell? Why does everybody's yard look so good? I paid you and mine looks like crap. Because he artificially woke it up and then got a freeze. So wait on the nitrogen, wait on putting down stuff like that. If you're in the South thinking that we're lawn season starting February 1st, it's not. Treat your customers as they need to be treated, but the lawn season doesn't start with weed and feed and stuff like that until around St. Patrick's Day. All right, but you can spot treat weeds with only a herbicide. Cool. All right, I'm going to spin my machine around real quick, and so we can get to the fuel filter, and then the spark plugs, and then the air cleaner. I'll put the boot back on so it don't run like shit. There we go. Okay, the fuel filter's up in here. It's right here. Okay, it's connected to the vacuum fuel pump that works off of the compression of the engine. It makes a diaphragm, and that's what helps. The fuel flows in, and then this helps deliver the fuel to the cylinders. And that works off of an air diaphragm. If you had to, you can take the fuel line off at the diaphragm, although I don't recommend it. Don't ever want to mess with these things. You can also take it off at the connection underneath the tank here if you need the extra room to get to this. I'm thinking I should be able to do it just like this. I did shut the fuel filter or fuel line off already. So this line should just about be empty, and I don't see anything in the fuel filter window. So you got just a little clips and a clip, 2 clips, and there is a flow arrow on these, so you need to be careful. So you get this little clip out of the way, and then try to work the hose off without damaging the hose. Sometimes heat get it to stick pretty good. You don't want to damage the hose, so be careful. There we go. So that's one end of it. Let's get that out of my way. And this would be the other end of it. I might actually be able to come out the back with it or something, just to make it a little bit easier. Yeah, actually I can. I can do the work from back here. Sorry, I know it's not on camera, but I think you get the gist of it. Sure don't give you a whole lot of room to work, but that's okay. I'm used to dealing with small things. Okay. So this one's in good shape. The filter don't look bad at all in there, but it's okay. We're going to change it out every year. And like I said, there is a flow this way, which is exactly how they had theirs too. All right. So, hi, buddy. My neighbor. Put this one back on. Put my clip back on. It's a lot easier to put fuel filters on than it is to take them off. Alright. Now, slip this bad boy back up here. Here is this line. Here's the clip right here. Go ahead and slide that baby back on. Like so. Put the clip back over the actual fuel line. So, shove this back into position like so. And turn the fuel valve back on like so. And now we'll have fuel. Clean oil filter, clean grease, clean lube for all the moving parts, clean fuel filter. Now we got to change the spark plugs and then the air cleaner. All right, we're pretty much done dealing with dirty chemicals. So I ditched the gloves, and I want to show you, this is a tool that you can get. This is the large spark plug tool. You can get these at hardware stores. It's got the large opening. All right, it's bigger than the one that comes with the steel. And I believe the one that comes with the steel is the same size that comes with the Echo. It's like a built-in with a screwdriver, star bit at the end and all that, the torque bit. This one's bigger, and you need it to be bigger. All right, the little ones won't fit. They're like that. So just pay attention to that. So I already broke torque on this and barely snugged it up. I should be able to just get this loose quick. Shouldn't be hot because I didn't really run the machine long. And you can inspect that And that's a clean running engine right there. At least this cylinder is. It's not all black and corroded, and it's not white and burnt. That's a good clean running engine. Good mix of fuel right there. That looks pretty good. Gaps are about the same. I've never really worried too much about the gap on a spark plug. Maintenance is really easy to do, and it gives you an opportunity to find issues with your mower or your trimmer or anything else for that matter that you may never notice until, you know, it's too late and it starts costing you money. So just, you know, a little food for thought there. If you could do your own maintenance, it's really a good idea to, because it'll get you familiar with your machine. There you go. I'll go do the other side off camera and then we'll tear into the air cleaner. Okay, so the air cleaner right here comes with a pre-cleaner as well and then a paper filter inside. So this is so easy. You just got these two little clips right here. I'm afraid to even look in here. Oh, wow. Pre-cleaner does its job though, doesn't it? Look at that. Isn't that a mess? And then you can just work this out. There's a little thumb screw right here. Very carefully, without getting dust in it. Pull that out. Look at that, that's the top. Now the bottom's still clean, it's still getting plenty of air. But that filter's pretty dirty. So that's 66 hours with this filter. Yeah. My tattoo's still healing. Got one little piece here still left to peel off. And I still got to put the lotion on it, in case you're wondering. And then just reverse course, put this right back on. Thumb screw it tight. That sits in its little case right there. Make sure that's clean. Well, that's it, guys and girls. This machine is serviced and ready for the hustle. The only thing I want to do next is sharpen the blades. I still can't find that 7th Zerk fitting, although I'm looking. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean up, and then I'll be back. We'll go ahead and we'll sharpen the blades up real fast, and this machine's ready to rock. Alright, so like I said earlier, something I like about the walk-behinds over zero turns, over standers, is even me with just my noodle arms, I can pick this up and put this under it and get to underneath my deck. If I got stuff wrapped around the blades, or if I need to sharpen the blades, for any reason whatsoever, I can just on my own, I can just lift up this deck and service my mower. And that's a convenience I really, really like. So here we have our bolts right here. Hopefully you can see that, but this isn't, it's just some maintenance. This isn't a how-to. So I'll go ahead and sharpen these up. And what I'm running right now are the Gator style blades. I'm going to continue to use the Gator style blades with the chute block. I linked to this tool in my video description. It's an electric impact. Pretty powerful, be careful. 3/4. I don't have gardener's gloves or something thick to wear, so I'm going to put a towel on it But guys, really be careful, all right? You should be wearing gloves to do this. I only have my weightlifting gloves and I don't want to use them. There's the bolt, a little adapter, and the blade. It's in good shape. Just needs to be a little bit sharpened up. Again, it's in good shape. So let me just sharpen these up real quick and we'll get to it. Be very mindful of where you're letting the sparks shoot. All right, the sparks coming off is metal. If you're sharpening this next to your wife's car or something like that, you're going to freckle her car with rust. Because as soon as these little sparkles land on her car, they're going to instantly turn to rust. Little rust stains, little rust spots. All right, so be very, very careful. Know where you're shooting the sparks. You don't want it sharp like a razor blade, you just want it sharp. Sharp like a razor blade means instant dull as soon as it hits tall grass, or any grass. You just want it sharp. Alright, these things are moving at like 18,000 RPM. They don't need to be a razor blade, they just need to be sharp. Sharpened. Using just a screwdriver, we'll go ahead and check balance. The smallest screwdriver you can use will give you the most accurate reading. Perfect. If it's got a little dip to it, real slow, just take a little bit off the side that's going up. Just a little bit, add a little bit more sharp. There you go. So both of the back tires were right at 10, so that's perfect. I'm going to leave them there. The front caster wheels do not take air. They're what you call semi-pneumatic. So the only thing left for me to worry about now would be measuring the deck to make sure that it's not crooked left to right. If you find that it is crooked left to right, then you can adjust it right here with these eye bolts. I'm not going to do that right now because I know it's not. I mowed yards last week. I know there's nothing worried about this deck. There's nothing warped about it or anything like that. But if your tires start wearing unevenly, or if you have low pressures on one side than the other, you start cutting uneven. So you've got to get new tires. You got to keep the air pressure right. You got to keep your deck level left to right. The only other thing that would be left to do on this is the hydraulics, and we're not going to get into that at 66 hours. It's just a waste, and I'm not going to waste time or money. So that's it. I'll go ahead and roll this out into the yard, garden hose this off, blow it off, and this thing's ready for 2020. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Tell me about the whistles.